Well, this was a pretty crazy episode to talk about. This is the last episode. There were some perks and there was also some downfalls, but let's get to it. So if you haven't already subscribed to the page, we are trying to still shoot for the 4,000 watch hour views. So if you haven't watched already, please help out the channel. It really does help and we really appreciate it. And it's free, by the way. Also, just want to make sure as well, thank you again for helping us hit YouTube partner. We also have that as well. So we do have some memberships and subscriptions below. You can get into get some emotes and all that. Still trying to work it all out, so I'm not sure how it all works. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. And let's get to the video. So right after the devastating attack that happened from the Bella group, or the Pillar group, I guess you can say, Eri was basically injured, and obviously we all thought she was gonna die. There were some theories and polls that you thought Soletta was gonna die, but there are a lot of surprises that you would have not expected. Sometimes it worked, and sometimes, honestly, I thought it was just, I'm gonna be honest with you. I felt like this episode felt rushed. It was a good ending, but I wouldn't give it to where it's like, oh my god, this was the best. Unfortunately, and I kind of knew this was gonna happen, especially if we thought that there was gonna be a season 3. Oops, sorry, my voice is kind of cracking there. Being all injured from the permit score from earlier outside, and it seems like already at this point, she's kind of like she's still focusing on her sister and as well as mom, and so she hasn't lost her way in her choices. And overall, but she's getting really weak, so it's kind of teasing that she might die from the permit score. She's really weak and stuff like that, but it kind of changes real quickly after Soletta basically takes the aerial and as well as her Caliban to visit her mom. The aerial over to Prospera, obviously as planned. That's what Mioran actually said. And the funny thing is, I'm sorry, I can't take these Haros so serious out. They just have like guns on them. I hope that comes out of the model kit. That would be really cool. That'd be super awesome. I would definitely buy that. But yeah, everyone is captured, and it seems like, of course, she brought it back, knowing Prospera as well. She tries to do the manipulation thing that she always does, and tries to basically guilt trip her, or I guess try to convince her that, oh, you need to do this for Eri. But the funny thing is, from this point, she mentions that like her body is being paralyzed because of the permit score that she's been using over the years. But even then, honestly, like, it still doesn't work on Soletta, and Soletta is a whole new person, so she doesn't take the manipulation lightly anymore. But it's not like we're like, oh my god, I hate you, mom, but it's more like, oh hey, I'm not gonna lose Eri, but I'm also not gonna lose you either. So it really goes back to like, a child's love, whereas like for their parent, that they'll do everything they can to, help their parent. And it seems like that's what's happening. And of course, this was a huge surprise that we saw Alon 4 finally, because I saw him in the opening trailer and I was wondering, when is Alon 4 ever going to come into the season? And I guess this is where he's been. So overall, I think they're going that whole, in a way, they still keep the theme of Gundam, where the whole new type thingy, where like, when the new types die, they become like a spirit kind of thing. So this is kind of like the same idea when you're interacting with the permit scores or anything like that. I guess you go to like, you get to roam around as a permit score spirit, I guess, in a way. So Alon 4 basically helps her out, and basically pushes her through with the permit score 8, and that's what Soletta does. She goes permit score 8. And the cool thing is, it gets kind of like a little bit cheesy, where like basically she gets all the Gundams together, but they do have a moment together, and it's kind of cute. So it kind of made me tear up a little bit, because I was like, oh, like she finally got a chance to talk to Alon 4 one last time before before he died and stuff like that. And they kind of talk about that, lightly. And yeah, it was a good moment. It was a very good moment. And Soletta does these crazy super robot wars moment where they basically fuse together with Eri's bits and everything. So yeah, Eri obviously helps out, and obviously Eri is still alive. So basically she combines in a way, I think she kind of combines and transfers her body over to the Caliban. And this is what I kind of mentioned before, a few episodes ago, before when Eri got shot, that I knew they were going to fuse somehow, and it seems like that's what's happening here. And the Caliban is so sick, and I don't know, it's really cool. So overall, they fuse and everything, and they complete the permit score 8 of the rainbow. So it gets pretty crazy here. Mion has this plan basically that basically just sells out all the shares in company and gives it over to Earth. It sounds like what's happening here. So basically, these companies don't even exist anymore, and that was kind of like their big plan. So because of that, there is less power for them. And of course, this is what I mentioned when all the Gundams come together, or I guess whatever is left. And they go into this whole unicorn vibe, rainbow stuff. And I guess overall, it sounds like what they're doing, they're kind of spreading the whole permit score across space. And I guess that's how they also turn off Quiet Zero. And I guess overall, yeah, then this is when it kind of gets all like new typey and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool, and definitely there's a lot of emotion into it because Celia's mom does see Eri again, in a spirit form, I guess, and she also does see everyone else as well, including Soletta, or I guess Eri's dad to be exact, and it's quite the moment for sure, just from everything. And it's kind of like how they communicate. Again, it goes back to the whole new type thing of like the abilities where like they can talk to basically kind of dead people. I guess that's like the best way to describe it. And this was pretty crazy that Nadim was actually seen here in the scene, and as well as the doctor. And yeah, it was an emotional moment because we haven't seen him since the prologue. And if you watch that one, yeah, it's pretty brutal. And this is the one thing I kind of didn't really like about it after when that order attack happened. I think by the end of it, Miorin's dad didn't really suffer any consequences of what happened because they're the one that sent the execution over. And yeah, nothing really happened. And that was the kind of sad thing about it. And it's kind of giving everyone else kind of like a background what's going on. So Nika, obviously, she finished her certification, she's not a terrorist anymore, and she's able to go to school and go to work. So that was pretty cool. Of course, you see everyone all grown up after 3 years later. They're all going to visit, I assume, somebody, and Choo Choo being Choo Choo's, that's nothing really changed for the most part, so I don't know what the heck she's doing. Yeah, her face is pretty great. And of course, Alon 5 is traveling, trying to see all the pictures that, Niore, kind of left. And of course, Shadiq basically goes to jail, and he basically takes the whole blame for Quiet Zero because of his own choice, just so he can save everyone else. So I guess Shadiq kind of redeemed himself for a second. And the weird part is, well, it's not really weird, but I guess you kind of find out that Eri survives, but she's kind of like through a keychain. Yeah, literally a keychain that Eri is talking through there, so she can talk to Miorain behind this thing right here, where they communicate. I assume this is made by the Gundams. So that happens, and with Gruul taking over the company still. And of course, Petra and as well as Lada ended up kind of being together in the end. And you can see she has the prosthetic arms, or legs, sorry, prosthetic legs. So it looks like she got like a new pair of legs, or seems like something like that. So now he's chilling, he's relaxing, nothing too crazy there. Of course, Gruul is being the boss. And of course, the original Lon is actually back in business, and they're going to be working together. Which is pretty cool, I guess, and of course, Cecilia ends up being the secretary for them, which was pretty nice. So, yeah, that's really nice. So then that was really fun for everybody. So yeah, everyone basically survives. Nothing too crazy here. Earth obviously is establishing again with space. And it looks like Shadiq's, harem is, working with Miore now. And I feel like they didn't really update everything. They only updated something. So of course, Miorain's trying to make a better place for Earth. And because we get to hear, we see the updates of the hearings from the former Venerate management resumes this year. So again, I guess they're just trying to make it better. So instead of just like, okay, well, like, we screwed everything up, but we're going to try to fix it. So it sounds like it's more like, oh, we're going to be fixing kind of thing. And of course, you see the 4 women now, they're, I guess, retired, I guess you can say. So I mean, overall, in this season, and I guess in general, of course, again, they end up being together in the end, so you get that happy ending. I didn't really expect to be like a happy ending because with most Gundam, they're kind of really sad in the end. Somebody dies. I think we all thought Soletta was gonna die, or somebody was gonna die. I honestly felt like this was kind of rushed. I felt like, I don't know why they could have just pushed it out to form a few more episodes, or at least this season 3. But it is what it is. Overall, I think it was still a good series. but there are some characters that kind of just, you don't really know what happens to them. It's like what happens to the League Assembly, what happens to, that one soldier guy, that big boy, we don't see him after that. So again, there's just a lot of plot holes I feel like, didn't have. But overall, I would definitely give this season, I would definitely give a solid 8 out of 10 for sure. It just felt like it was a little rushed, but I did like it overall, so it was better than most, rushed Gundam series. So I'm glad they kind of took their time in terms of saving the budget, but they could have added more episodes, and that would have been really nice. But overall, 8 out of 10, that's my final review for it. But what did you guys think? Did you guys like the episode? And if you liked it, make sure you subscribe below and comment, and see you guys next video. Bye!
Hey, I was watching that.